The Unyielding Resolve, American Airlines Flight 336. Introduction. A routine morning turns extraordinary. The clock struck 8:30 a.m. at Denver International Airport, and Terminal C bustled with activity. Gate agents greeted passengers with cheerful smiles as boarding commenced for American Airlines Flight 336. The Boeing 737-800, gleaming in the morning sunlight, awaited its passengers for what was expected to be an uneventful flight to San Francisco. The passengers were a microcosm of life. A mother traveling with her two children sat in row 12, already organizing crayons and snacks. In business class, a software executive polished his presentation for a big meeting. Near the back, a retired couple joked about how they'd chosen the aisle and window seats, leaving the middle seat vacant, a trick they'd learned over decades of travel. In the cockpit, Captain Sarah Mitchell, a veteran with 22 years of experience, and First Officer Daniel Hayes, a rising star in aviation, performed their pre-flight checks. They shared a mutual respect built on countless hours in the skies. At 8:55 a.m., the aircraft pushed back, engines humming as the ground crew waved it off. The flight climbed gracefully into the clear blue sky, the calm before the storm. By 9:25 a.m., the plane leveled off at its cruising altitude of 3,500 feet. The cabin crew began serving coffee, juice, and breakfast snacks. The flight attendants' easy banter filled the aisles as passengers flipped through magazines or watched in-flight entertainment. Captain Mitchell's voice crackled over the intercom, assuring everyone that they were on schedule for an on-time arrival in San Francisco. Everything seemed perfect. The explosion at 3,500 feet. At 9:37 a.m., a deafening bang shook the aircraft, accompanied by a sudden lurch to the left. Passengers screamed as trays, cups, and bags were flung into the aisles. In the cockpit, alarms blared. The left engine had suffered an uncontained failure, with shrapnel tearing into the wing's underside. Sensors lit up the control panel like a Christmas tree, signaling hydraulic fluid leaks, decreased thrust, and loss of cabin pressurization. "Mayday! Mayday!" Captain Mitchell called into her headset, her voice steady despite the chaos. "This is American Airlines Flight 336. We've had an engine failure and are declaring an emergency." Oxygen masks dropped from the ceiling as the cabin pressure plummeted. Flight attendants scrambled to assist passengers, urging them to secure their masks before helping others. The aircraft began a steep descent, aiming to reach a safer altitude where passengers could breathe without aid. A second crisis emerges. As if the engine failure wasn't enough, Captain Mitchell and First Officer Hayes soon realized the hydraulic systems controlling critical flight surfaces were compromised. Without full hydraulic power, they could not easily operate the flaps, slats, or landing gear. The nearest viable airport was Salt Lake City International, over 150 miles away. It was a race against time. The aircraft's limited hydraulic systems were bleeding fluid rapidly, and the pilots had to act fast. Leadership in the cabin. In the cabin, Chief Flight Attendant Lisa Harper took charge. She moved calmly through the aisles, helping frightened passengers and ensuring they were in their brace positions. She used her training to assess injuries and reassure everyone that the crew was doing everything possible to get them to safety. The mother in row 12 clutched her children tightly, whispering words of comfort. A businessman handed his cell phone to an elderly woman, helping her record a message for her family. In those terrifying moments, strangers became allies. The 10's approach to Salt Lake City. With one engine out and compromised hydraulics, Captain Mitchell prepared for an emergency landing. The approach was fraught with challenges. The pilots had to balance speed and altitude while using manual systems to compensate for the lack of hydraulic power. Salt Lake City's emergency response teams lined the runway, ready for the worst. Fire trucks and ambulances waited as the Boeing 737 descended, trailing smoke from its damaged engine. Inside the cockpit, every decision was critical. Landing gear lever, down, Hayes announced, but the gear failed to fully deploy. They were forced to rely on gravity and emergency procedures to lock the wheels into place. The landing that stunned everyone. The aircraft touched down hard at 10:05 a.m. Sparks flew as the damaged undercarriage scraped the runway. The cabin jolted violently, and the sound of screeching metal filled the air. Passengers braced for impact as the pilots fought to keep the plane straight. Miraculously, Flight 336 slowed to a stop near the end of the runway. Fire crews quickly doused the smoldering engine, and emergency slides were deployed. Lisa Harper and her team guided passengers out of the aircraft with remarkable composure. Despite the chaos, everyone evacuated safely. The aftermath. The passengers and crew of Flight 336 were taken to the terminal, where hugs, tears, and relief replaced fear. Investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, arrived to examine the engine failure and hydraulic system damage. It was later revealed that a rare manufacturing defect in the engine's turbine blades caused the uncontained failure. The hydraulic leaks were a secondary effect of the flying debris. Captain Mitchell and her crew received widespread praise for their exceptional handling of the crisis. The airline released a statement commending their bravery, and passengers took to social media to share their gratitude. Conclusion: a testament to resilience. The story of American Airlines Flight 336 is one of extraordinary courage, teamwork, and determination. It reminds us of the professionalism of aviation crews and the resilience of passengers in the face of unimaginable challenges. For the 146 souls aboard that fateful flight, October 15, 2024, became a date they would never forget. A day that proved the power of human resolve in even the direst circumstances.